honourable members, in accordance with section 111, subsections 3 and 4 and section 112 of the Constitution of Sierra Leone, Act number 6 of 1991 and standing orders of 66.1 and 64.3 of the revised standing orders of the Parliament of Sierra Leone, the under-mentioned budgetary votes, heads and divisions of 2022 financial year was committed to Sub-Operation Committee 2. Mr. Chairman, honourable members, the 2022 budget, with the team building resilience for inclusive green recovery, is a continuation of 2021 finance statement in which a lot of comments were partly achieved and others roll over to 2022. Though the country registered remarkable microeconomic and budgetary performance in the later part of 2021 financial year, but the outbreak of the third wave of COVID-19 in the early part of the year under review had a deep toll on the growth and recovery trajectory. I acknowledge the good work of all MPs and staff who personally put effort together to produce a report with findings. 2. The scope of exercise. Mr. Chairman, the honourable members, this report covers 40 MDAs as shown in the table below, as stated by the Minister. Procedure.
As stated.
Procedure as stated.
Next page.
Mr. Chairman, general observations and recommendations. Mr. Chairman, honourable members, during the hearing, the Appropriation Subcommittee applied its constitutional mandate and other ancillary legislations in exercising of its functions to note the following observations. Quarterly allocations for MDAs were hardly received on time when paid checks transfers never confirmed to the approved amounts by Parliament. For the financial year 2021, most MDAs reported to have received transfers for only 2 or 3 quarters. The committee cited this as a contributing factor for poor service delivery by many MDAs and therefore recommended that the government ensure adequate and timely, predictable release of funds for effective and project implementation. The committee also notes with concern that most MDAs fail to provide supporting documents on expenditure breakdown. Lack of sufficient documentation and breakdown increases the risk of potential errors and misstatement in the account provided by the MDAs. The committee reiterated its previous recommendations by insisting that all supporting documentation, including breakdown of expenditure, should always be accompanied by MDAs questionnaire return to Parliament before budget hearings. The committee discovers various variances in MDAs, closing and opening cash bank balances for financial year 2020 and 2021, respectively. Quite simply, the opening balance of an account is the amount of money, negative or positive, in the amount at the start of accounting period. This will be the amount of closing balance from previous year brought forward to the current year. The closing balance of most MDAs we are not only correctly brought forward, or we are appropriate restated, and this, according to the committee review, was regarded as failure by them to appropriately apply accounting principles inconsistently. The committee therefore recommends that in future, all MDAs should submit supporting documents, bank statement, as well as reconciliation statement. Mr. Chairman, honourable members, the committee expressed concern that on-source revenue mobilization is still a big challenge for most revenue-generating MDAs and local councils. In this regard, most MDAs and local councils reported not meeting their revenue targets for period under review. The committee recommends that the capacity of revenue-generating entities should be strengthened in order to enable them effectively mobilize more on-source revenue. Majority of MDAs interviewed made little or no effort to furnish committee in their proposed action plans and approve deliverables of financial year 2022. It is the committee estimation that the provision of trust plan could enhance the oversight work of Parliament in terms of evaluating the extent to which the MDAs are implementing government policies and programs. it became clear that select committees were handling the use of operation reports, work on plans of MDAs when carrying out oversight functions to monitor utilizations of approved budgets. The committee therefore wishes to draw attention of this Honourable House by the way of urging parliamentary oversight committees to monitor implementation of works of MDAs, thereby evaluating progress made. The committee observed that the Ministry of Finance comply with section 41, subsection 1 of the Finance Act of 2020, which states that the state budget shall be laid before Parliament by minister 6 weeks to the beginning of financial year to which it relates. However, Parliament is challenged with this time, i.e. 6 weeks to approve the budget. To this end, Parliament strongly recommends to reinstate section 33(1) of the Public Financial Management Act of 2016, which states that budget should be presented to Parliament 2 months to the beginning of the year of financial year to which it relates. The committee also observed that this year questionnaires was thoroughly reviewed in line with international best practice on presentation of revenue, expenditure, management and proposals, for which minister, vote controllers, head of MDAs were summoned to meet to engage them on new approach. However, most ministers, vote controllers and heads did not attend the meetings. For this, the committee recommends for corporations for MDAs in which consultations in future. The committee also observed that recommendations of previous reports for MDAs have not been implemented by the Ministry of Finance. However, the committee is aware of the challenges facing the ministry, but advised the ministry to look into the recommendations from which proposal could come for legislation. Recommendations, Mr. Speaker. The committee recommends The committee recommends that the Finance Committee look thoroughly into the appropriations of this board. The committee observed that since inception, appellate board commissioners have no vehicle or even motorbike. The committee recommends that the Ministry of Finance facilitate through Ministry of Transport and Aviation for commissions to have vehicles and motorbike. Mr. Chairman, there's one of the MDAs that faced the committee. I'm quite sure members are here who can testify to that. And this is one of the MDAs I really want to read to members because there are constraints. If you allow me to, Mr. Ladies and Mr. Chairman, to read. It is important. They asked me really to plead on the general membership that we help them to be autonomous. That is vote 140 to 000, Justice and Legal Service Commission. Yes, sir.
We've dealt with the first set of recommendations.
Yes, sir.
I suggest you go through the recommendations
and end with this
to the very end.
Okay, thank you.
Just confine yourself to recommendations.
Okay. Recommendations. The committee recommends that commission be given autonomy by the Ministry of Finance and set up its own accounts. Page 10. The committee recommends that the commission be given autonomy by the Ministry of Finance to set up its own accounts, manage their allocations. Page 11. Recommendations. The committee observed that the commission is currently understaffed and recommends for additional staff recruitment for the offices.
Which commission? Name the commission.
The
National Commission
for Human Rights, correct.
Yes.
The committee observed that the commission is currently understaffed and recommends for additional staff recruitment for the offices in all district headquarters towns.
6.
Where?
6. National Civil Registration Authority.
Yes.
Go to recommendation.
Committee observed that the allocations are inadequate and recommends for supplementary budget provisions for the authority with clearly outlined objectives.
Next. Ministry of Internal Affairs.
That's stated. Mr. Speaker, the committee observed that the committee observed and acknowledged indeed the ministry was continuously under resource taking into consideration the critical roles it performs. Therefore, it recommends for supplementary budgetary support where applicable strong reasons.
The Sierra Leone Police.
Sierra Leone Police, Mr. Speaker, stated. Of course. Well, of course, stated.
Let's move on. The Fire Force.
I'll stated, Mr. Speaker.
Sports.
Ministry of Sport. I'll stated, Mr. Speaker.
Chairman City Council.
I'll stated, Mr. Speaker.
Salvaku.
I'll stated, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker. The committee considered these amounts as inadequate and therefore recommends for parliamentary approval. Conclusion, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Chairman, honorable members, pursuant to section 111, subsection 3(1), the SO 66 and 1 and 2, the committee unanimously recommends that the entire budget reads, including the sub-heads listed below, except budget head 20300 National Civil Registration Authority, stand part of the schedule and that recommendations contained here be approved in order to enhance effective service delivery to the nation.
Thank you.
Thank you.